Welcome, and bienvenidos. Welcome to Tech and Tequila, the podcast where tech innovation meets life's boldest choices and life's boldest adventures. I'm your host, Kat Lopez Shelby, your go-to techie chica, trusted tech advisor, digital nomad, and tequila enthusiast. Whether you're here for the latest in tech trends, insights from industry leaders, or just a good story with a splash of tequila, you are in the right place. So if this is your first time, I'm super excited, and yay, you came at the perfect time because we're doing something special today, and we're going to cover, I like to say, something a little going back to the basics today. Each week, we dive into game-changing strategies, inspiring journeys, and a little tech magic that helps entrepreneurs, creators, and curious minds thrive in the fast-paced digital world. Oh, and did I mention we're doing this all while serving it up with a side of your muy favorito tequila, because life is too short not to celebrate every single day. So grab your glass, power up, and join in the conversation. This is Tech and Tequila, where the future meets the spirit of adventure. Salud. So first and foremost, I want to thank you all for joining us today. I'm super pumped. Like I said, today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to call today's episode Tech and Tastings because we did kind of a dry January and we tasted a couple of different things. And somebody introduced me to another non-alcoholic beverage that I thought was very worthwhile to highlight and bring to the table. So I'm super pumped about today. Having stated that, before we get into that, go ahead, grab your glass, grab some ice, and let's get started. We're going to have a quick word from our sponsor. Attention Wanderlust warriors and tech-savvy trailblazers. If you've ever dreamed of working from anywhere, whether it's sipping margaritas by the beach or exploring hidden city gems without sacrificing your business, listen up. Let me introduce you to #YourDigitalBliss, the ultimate toolkit for female entrepreneurs. Whether you are single as a Pringle, or you have a family, or this is a great way to start the planning process and to embrace the digital nomad lifestyle with ease. This program was co-created by myself, Kat Lopez Shelby, and Dr. Jenna W. Clack. This course isn't just about tech. It's about freedom, and it is about living a creative lifestyle. Whether you're managing ADHD distractions, securing your social media, or figuring out how to stay cyber safe on the go, #YourDigitalBliss has your back. So inside the course, there's a step-by-step guide to setting up your tech stack. There's pro tips on securing your business data. Most importantly, well, I guess I shouldn't say most importantly, but very importantly, there's budgeting tools for travel and hacks for finding the best accommodations. And my personal favorite, a customizable digital nomad packing list and travel planner. And of course, for all our tech and tequila enthusiasts, you get a special offer. And that is, so the course is $222, but because you listen to Tech and Tequila, you will save 20%. Now you want to go ahead and grab this now because I know you hear this all the time, but the price goes up as we get closer to Cinco de Mayo. So make sure and enroll today. Give us a look-see, check it out. Everything will be in the show notes. And of course, if you want to follow for some additional tips and tricks, some other great social media people to follow, make sure and follow us on Instagram @your_digital_bliss and start your digital nomad journey today. All right. Hola, amigos, amigas. And well, I was going to say, if you have anybody else, but that really covers everybody. I'm super excited. So I know I kind of teased that we are going to have this as kind of a non-traditional Tech and Tequila segment. This is Tech and Tastings. So for any of you who don't know, we did a dry January. I guess I should say if this is your first time listening or you missed that, we went over several different versions that you could use, some adaptogen drinks, several different mock ways to make mock cocktails and doing that. But today we are diving into something new. And I'm really excited about this because we are going to be reviewing a trip drink. So if you haven't heard of them, a trip drink is a CBD-infused sparkling drink, and it has been making the waves in the wellness and beverage space. So if you've ever been curious about a CBD drink, or this is the first time you're hearing about it, or if you just love discovering new flavors, these are for you. Now, I could not, of course, skip the tasting. So stay tuned as I try the raspberry flavored. So you may be asking, what is Trip? So I'm going to grab these and show you. So here's one of them. Oh, and it's not showing up. So this is Trip Calm. Then we have Trip Mindful Blend. I only have 3 of them, and they have 4. And here's the other one. And you'll notice, now I got these at my local Sprouts. You can always go online to see where you can get them. And of course, the whole point is to find your calm. And by the way, when you get a Trip, you also can get 3 months free of Calm Premium. All you have to do is scan the QR code. We won't talk about the cybersecurity things with that, but we'll get past it. So you may be wondering, why are we highlighting Trip? Well, first off, it's new and it's different and it's fun. And you can make mocktails with these. And there's nothing that I like more than having something that is in the wellness space that's different and new and, great. But let's talk about why this brand was founded. So this brand was founded by a husband and wife duo, Liv and Dan, who discovered CBD after Dan suffered a serious knee injury just before their wedding. They found that it helped with recovery and stress relief, and they wanted to create a drink that made those benefits accessible, stylish, and easy to use. So fast forward to today, and you have Trip. So let's take a minute to talk about the science behind it. So if you're new to CBD, here's a very quick rundown. So CBD, and I'm probably going to mess up this, so don't send me a bunch of things about how I can't say this. Our cannabidiol is a compound found, of course, in hemp that's known for its relaxing effects. And unlike THC, it won't get you high, but it can help to take the edge off after a long day. Each Trip contains 15 milligrams of CBD, along with natural adaptogens like chamomile, ginseng, L-theanine. See, this is where I'm like, don't judge me for the way I say these. Ingredients known for their stress-reducing properties. It's a great option for anyone looking to relax without alcohol or those wanting a natural way to boost focus and calm. And they take their quality very seriously. So they do third-party lab testing to ensure purity and effectiveness. So let's talk a little bit about what you can get and what you can find, because you can really find a Trip for, I would say, almost everybody. But Trip offers several flavors, each designed to be refreshing and functional. So here are some of their most popular. So they have elderflower mint, which I don't think I have that. I have the peach ginger, and then I got the raspberry orange blossom, and I got the cucumber mint. I could see cucumber mint would be really delicious to have on like a more hot day, but I would be remiss if we didn't try this out. So let's see. I am going to try out the raspberry orange today and see how this tastes. So let's give it a taste. I got my glass right here with some ice because, as you can tell, for those who listen or watch, I am podcasting while on the road, being a digital nomad from my best friend's house in West Texas, enjoying this great. So I have a cold glass. I put some ice in here. Let's open it up. All right, let's give this bad boy a sip. Oh, so this is super light and refreshing. I don't really get a big aroma off of it, but the taste, it's firm. The reason I say that is I am not somebody who likes the taste of like flavored water where it's like barely a hint. This gives you a little bit of a kick. So I like that it is a little sparkling. It gives you a nice burst in this one right here of raspberry and orange, and you get kind of a kick, like almost just a little bit, I would say maybe floral, like lightly botanical coming in. It really reminds me of something very like, I was going to say clean, but it reminds me of something that I've had in a recent mocktail. I'm gonna have to think on that one. But I would say definitely, I would say give it a try. This one right here that I have has lion's mane, magnesium, ACV, also known as apple cider vinegar, L-theanine. Like I said, don't come up for me. And of course, ashwagandha. So I'm loving it. Yeah, no, I love it. So would I think, let's see, would I drink this again? Absolutely. I think it is delicious. It's definitely a great drink, very refreshing, very clean. Love it. I would definitely give this one a try. So if you haven't tried it before, like I said, you can get it at Sprouts. Look online. I'm sure they'll be offered in more locations soon, but you have several different flavors. And of course, you get a bonus. You get 3 months of free Calm Premium with each can that you get right now. That's probably why Calm is on it. You can't see right here, but it has Calm on the back, and I have to keep moving it back and forth. But I'm going to tell you, I'm thinking this one's a good one. This one's a keeper for sure. It's like my Ken Euphorics. I feel like I just cannot get enough of them. I absolutely love them. And I think I'm going to definitely put this in the rotation. So, Trib isn't just a trendy drink. I think it is delicious. It's part of a bigger movement. And I think that you will love this, especially if you're trying to maybe cut down. Maybe you just want a little something relaxing, something not water, not tea, not Coke. This is perfect. So, and I'm sure that I can include a recipe in the summary notes for something maybe you can make a mocktail with. And also check it out on Instagram. And of course, if you try this, be sure and let me know. So hit us up at Shelby Tech Solutions. Love it. Now we're going to have one more quick commercial break before we get into the meat and papas of today's episode. And we're going to talk about one of my favorite things. I know I say this all the time because everything appears to be my favorite thing, but we're going to talk about a back to basics. And I know I talk about connectivity a lot, but we're going to talk about some different options for you. All right. Amigas and amigos, let's talk about something that can make or break your business. And that is your communication system. So whether you're a road warrior, a solopreneur, or running a growing team, you need a phone system that's flexible as your hustle. Because we all know, you got to be flexible sometimes, got to be ready to pivot. So what I want you to do is enter Broad Voice. If you haven't heard of them before, they're not just another VoIP provider. Broad Voice gives all size businesses enterprise level communication tools without the enterprise level headache. Imagine crystal clear calls, video conferencing, text messaging, and AI powered virtual agents, all in one easy to use system. And text messaging is all important in these days for customer service. And the best part, it grows with you. So whether you're a team of 1 or a team of 100, Broad Voice scales to fit your needs. So I want you to picture this. You're sipping on a margarita in Tulum or sipping on a margarita in Mallorca, closing deals from your laptop while your team is back home stays connected seamlessly. And that is the magic of Broad Voice. So if your business still runs on outdated, clunky phone systems, or you're not happy with your VoIP provider, you're not getting the customer service you want, you can't get a hold of it, and it's clunky, it's just not working for you, it is time to level up. Head over to broadvoice.com and see how they can help you stay connected no matter where you roam. Because in business and in life, communication is everything. Now, back to Tech and Tequila for you. So I know that I said we're going to talk about what I think is the basis. And I know people are like, oh my gosh, you have nailed the coffin shut. You have hit it on the head. But I still get calls all the time. And I still, when I do tech reviews, I talked about this, where people aren't happy with what they have, or, they're not looking at all their options because they're going to the big guys. And when we talk about the big guys, these are the big ISPs. These are your AT&Ts, your Lumens, your Spectrums, your Sparklights. These are these guys, right? So I want to talk today about going with an aggregator. So if you haven't ever heard of an aggregator, there are so many, but to name a few, you've got AirSpring, you've got Integrated, you've got Ingenious, you've got Momentum, and that is just a couple of them. And I want to talk about, so why would you want to go directly with an aggregator versus going direct? Because some people are like, yeah, but if I go with this particular, I know what I'm dealing with. Yep. And I know what you're dealing with too. So let's get into the meat and papas of this. So first off, you get more carrier options without the hassle. So when you go direct to one of the big guys, right, you're stuck with only their options. You're stuck with what their pricing is. And I'm going to say this, and I say this, there a lot of times they're trying to shove a round peg into a square hole, and they're not looking at like what you can do. Whereas if you go with an aggregator, they're going to source multiple providers for you. They're going to say, let's see who all is available, right? And they can bundle these services. So they can bundle different guys together to give you a more customizable solution. The other thing is cost savings. And to a little extent, well, not a little extent, to a better extent, better negotiation power. So one of the things that I tell a lot of my clients about an aggregator is that they buy bandwidth in bulk. So in lieu of you being Joe's Pizza Shop down the way, you are kind of like a big dog, like you're a Chevron in essence, because what they do is they buy in bulk. And so this gives them the leverage to negotiate better pricing than you as a single business could. So I want you to think of this like Costco for internet service, because they buy at scale. They can pass that savings down to you versus going direct, which means that you probably are paying a little bit more and you're having to fight with them for that. And the other thing is, if you have multiple locations, let's say you have 5, 6, 7 locations, an aggregator is able to negotiate so that you can get a single contract for everybody and have like a single biller system versus having to pay like ISP over here because that's the only thing available, and ISP over here because that's what's available. And by the way, when I say ISP, that's internet service provider, right? And that's a huge advantage over juggling multiple contracts with different providers. And I hit on this just a minute ago, but in lieu of having complex billing with possibly hidden fees and et cetera, you get one bill to look at. The other thing is, and we won't say any specifics, but a lot of times when you deal with some of these bigger guys, you know, it's almost like a game. Like, how many times can I get transferred to get one thing fixed? I know you all have experienced it, and we all love a good AI agent. But the more times you're like, live agent, even in chat, right? And so when you're dealing with an aggregator, there are no aggregators that I recommend to my clientele in which you cannot like pick up the phone and call someone with like 5 rings and get someone to fix it, you know? And I'm trying to think, with one of the companies that I was dealing with recently, I think it was like 3 rings and they picked up. It was 3 rings and then it picked up and then it gave me 3 options. And then I actually talked to a person, we got it fixed. So that's huge. And a lot of them have dedicated support teams. So one of the aggregators that I actually didn't put in this list, but they actually have a dedicated support team of like a pod just for you. So if you call in, there's several people that know about your services. The other thing is, you can obviously, I know I talk about this all the time, but having redundancy. So what happens if your circuit goes down, right? So when you have an aggregator, let's say you don't just have one option. They're going to go, okay, well, we can bring AT&T here and we can have Spectrum here and we can have do this. So as an example, you can have AT&T as your primary connection, Spectrum as your backup, and you can have it all managed under one contract with one support team. So that's making it super simple and easy. And of course, the other thing is, if you are in the process of growing and you need to scale up and add locations, change providers, all of those things, when you deal with an aggregator, you're going to have that. Now, the other thing is, maybe you need to add SD-WAN, you need to add cybersecurity, you need to add cloud. A lot of these aggregators can bundle all those services. So I want to take a deeper dive into some of the aggregators that I work with. And I realized as I'm talking about this, I did not put this one on the list. So in a future episode, I will talk about one of them, but I want to make sure you know these aggregators are not listed in any particular order. Like the first one's not my favorite and the last one's not my least favorite. This is just the order we're going in. So I wanted to talk about Integrated first. And the reason I wanted to talk about them, of course, I'm in Texas and they are, of course, they're headquartered out of Texas. And they provide a wide array of services that basically for your business. So obviously they have customizable solutions. They also have a commitment to innovation. They have great customer support. I have dealt with them with several of my clients, and I will tell you between calling in and getting to tech support super fast. It's not like being transferred 8 or 9 times, and also having someone that I can email saying, hey, this customer is having issues. Here's where we at. Integrated is great. And they have a proven track record. And they have a vast portfolio of satisfied clients and case studies that you can pull off of their website. They're great. That's just one of them in case you haven't ever heard of them. Another one that I work with is AirSpring. AirSpring has a lot of pros, and I want to give this one example. So they have comprehensive managed services. They are a single source provider. They have earned over 100 industry awards for their products and services. Great tech. They have a global reach with personalized support. So they actually operate in over 190 companies. And I have a really good story about this because one of my customers is on AirSpring and their circuit went down. I was notified. I was at a training. The customer, ironically, was also at a training. I got on the phone, called in, 4 or 5 rings, picked up, talked to someone in tech support, explained, I'm at a training. I don't have a lot of time. Here is a number you can call directly for someone on site. It was a cell phone number for one of the people in their office to figure out what was going on. And I was like, I really cannot stay on the phone today for this. And I am telling you, it was smooth. We got everything taken care of within like 45 minutes. We found out that there was a major outage we found out there was a major outage, that there had been a fiber cut. And they gave us the ETA of when it was going to be fixed. And they followed up and we were getting consistent text messages. They also have a chat help desk that you can go in. If you are not a fan of calling a 1-800 number, you're not a fan of emailing, that's always an option. Another one that I want to use as an example is Ingenious. And I actually just recently worked with them, and they have some great products. They have advanced AI, they have machine learning, they're scalable, but I'm all about the customer service. And so I want to talk about this. Recently, I did a couple locations with one of my customers. They have Starlink service at 2 of their locations. And so first off, customer service, top notch. I get a notification preemptively before the customer has even gone into the office stating, hey, we noticed that your Starlink is down. And in the email, it's sending pictures of, please check this and look at this. As soon as my customer, the person on site, got into the office, they were able to get on the phone, quickly call in. The tech walked them through. And I always use this. Somehow, someone had accidentally unplugged it. But here's the thing. That person that was in the office straight out the gates was not techie. They weren't. So between on the phone and having those pictures that they sent and the fact that they notified them before they had even walked in the office, I'm telling you, definitely worthwhile. We've had Ingenious on here. We'll probably have them on again. They have a new product coming out that's absolutely amazing. I'm super excited to go over it. But like I said, I'm all about the customer service. And then I was going to say another one I was going to talk about is Momentum. Now, I want to be very upfront. Generally, when I have worked with Momentum, it has been because I have worked with them on several different VoIP solutions. And they have, comprehensive connectivity solutions. They have collaboration tools. One of the nice things about Momentum is that if you install a VoIP system, they are going to send Momentum badged employees on site for that. And the reason that I added them to this list, they do have global reach. So they have over 750 carriers and 200 global points of presence. But I had a particular customer that we had to work with because they were getting a whole new phone system for their 7 locations. They, unbeknownst to the headquartered, a manager had signed an additional contract. They had some billing we had to do. We had some actual construction, and we were able to go in and work through all of this to get them a solution that fit them best, where they were able to get out of the contract that they were under, where they were able to add that construction and spread it out over a 5-year contract at the time. And like I said, they send badge employees to set everything up. So customer was super excited, set everything up. They did an SD-WAN. They did the VoIP, the hosted phone solution. They just did it all, and they took care of everything. And the customer has been super happy with the customer service that they provided. So those are just a couple. You've got Command Link, you've got New Horizons, you've got NHC, you've got Granite, there's so many different options. But the reason that I talk about these is a lot of times, you're like, oh, hey, well, I'm just going to call so-and-so because that's who you're thinking of. I want you to think about all the different options. Remember, I'm always going to tell you, obviously you can contact Shelby Tech and we would love to work with you, but call your local tech advisor and work with them because they're going to be able to say, hey, instead of going this way, why don't we go this way? And like I said, I am all about customer service. I like to work with companies that have solid customer service, that are very responsive to my clients, that I would say are very responsive to me. But those are just some of them. Now, first off, I want to thank you for joining us today. Now, obviously, myself, I encourage you to explore the different companies that I talk about. If your contract is up within the next 6 months, now is a great time to look at what options are available to you. And of course, we want your connectivity, your communication to help propel your organization forward. So let's wrap up today. So obviously we had a special Tech and Tastings episode, from exploring the rise of functional beverages like Trip to breaking down why working with an internet aggregator can be a game changer for your business. We've covered a lot of ground today. I always ask this in every episode. First and foremost, number one, please subscribe to our channel. I greatly appreciate it. That way, number one, you don't miss an episode. We come out basically every single week. We always cover some type of beverage, whether that's tequila, whether we do another tasting episode, which I couldn't help because I was super excited about this. But, and we cover great tech. Also, leave us a review, and you can find our podcast is on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. So that's a wrap for today's episode. Like I said, we've covered a lot of ground. Whether you're looking for the perfect alcohol alternative, such as Trip, or the best tech solutions to keep your business seamlessly running, I want you to think of today's takeaway as innovation is everywhere, and you want to find what works best for you. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please leave your thoughts. Don't forget to grab your #DigitalBliss special course. And of course, check out broadvoice.com. So until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and as always, celebrate every day in life. Salud.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Tech and Tequila. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today. To stay updated about all things tech and more, don't forget to visit us at our website, shelbyts.com. If you loved what you heard, remember to show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our podcast. Your 5-star ratings and reviews mean the world to us and help us to reach more listeners just like you. So muchas gracias again for joining us with Tech and Tequila. Thank you so much. You learned a lot about tech, and maybe you had a nice drink of tequila.